If you just finished Stranger Things 5, you know that 11 survived thanks to Coley's final illusion. But the finale leaves us with one massive question. Where is 11 now? That final shot of her hiking through a remote location with three waterfalls in the background has everyone asking the same thing. Where did she go? Is she safe? And most importantly, will Mike ever find her? Let's break down everything we know about 11's location and what her new life might look like. So let's start with what we actually see in the finale. After everyone believes 11 died in the Upside Down when the bombs went off, the show jumps forward to 1989. We see Mike at graduation, finally accepting what happened, and revealing his theory that Kaylee faked 11's death. And then, in those final moments of the series, we get our answer. We see 11 alive, wearing casual hiking clothes, a backpack on her shoulders, walking through this absolutely stunning remote location with three massive waterfalls cascading in the background. The visual is important. This isn't some suburban neighborhood or small town. This is wilderness. This is isolation. 11 is surrounded by nature, far away from cities, far away from people who might recognize her, and far away from any military or government presence that could track her down. The three waterfalls aren't just a beautiful backdrop, they're a symbol. She's found somewhere untouched, somewhere peaceful, somewhere she can finally breathe. Now let's talk about the significance of where 11 might be. The show doesn't give us a specific location name, and that's intentional. The Duffer Brothers don't want us to know exactly where she is because the whole point is that nobody can find her. Not the military, not Dr. K, not even Mike or Hopper. For 11 to truly be free, she has to be unknown. But we can make some educated guesses based on what we see. The landscape suggests somewhere mountainous with significant water features. We're talking about a region with dramatic elevation changes, lush greenery, and multiple waterfalls close together. In the United States, there are a few places that fit this description. The Pacific Northwest, particularly areas of Washington or Oregon, has terrain like this. The Appalachian region has spots with multiple waterfalls. Parts of Montana or Wyoming near national parks could work. But honestly, 11 could be anywhere. She could even be in another country. Canada, Iceland, New Zealand, parts of South America. All of these places have similar landscapes. What matters more than the exact location is what it represents. 11 has spent her entire life being tracked, monitored, and controlled. She was a lab rat as a child, hunted by the government as a teenager, and constantly pulled into battles against interdimensional monsters. She's never had privacy. She's never had anonymity. But now, in this remote wilderness location, she finally has both. Nobody knows she's there. Nobody is watching her. For the first time in her life, 11 is truly free. The three waterfalls are significant too. In storytelling, water often represents cleansing, renewal, and new beginnings. 11 is washing away her past, starting fresh. She's not 11 anymore, or at least she doesn't have to be. She can be Jane, just Jane. A girl hiking through the wilderness with no powers to use, no monsters to fight, no destiny to fulfill. The waterfalls represent her transformation from weapon to person, from superhero to just a human being living a quiet life. But here's where it gets emotional. 11 is free, but she's also alone. That final shot shows her by herself. No friends around her, no Mike holding her hand, no Hopper making dad jokes. She's hiking solo through this beautiful landscape, and while it's peaceful, it's also isolating. This is the cost of her freedom. She gets to be normal, but normal means being separated from everyone she loves. She can't call Mike. She can't visit Max. She can't go to Joyce and Hopper's wedding. She has to stay hidden, stay unknown, stay away. Mike's theory in the graduation scene is that 11 is alive and living somewhere safe, possibly in a town where she can blend in. The three waterfalls scene seems to support this. 11 isn't just hiding in one spot. She's traveling, she's exploring, she's living. That backpack suggests she's on a journey, not settled in one place yet. Maybe she's still figuring out where she wants to be. Maybe she's wandering from town to town, never staying long enough to attract attention, always moving, always exploring the world she never got to see when she was fighting for it. There's also a practical element to consider. How is 11 surviving? She doesn't have money, at least not much. She doesn't have identification. She can't get a normal job without a social security number and a background that holds up. So how is she making this work? The backpack suggests she's living minimally, possibly camping, staying in hostels, working odd jobs under the table. She might be using her powers occasionally when she absolutely has to, but trying to stay low-key and not draw attention. It's also possible that someone is helping her. What if Hopper or Joyce set up some kind of system before she disappeared? A network of safe houses, people who could be trusted, resources she could access without being traced. Hopper worked for the government. He knows how to move under the radar. Joyce is fiercely protective. It's not hard to imagine them creating a way for 11 to survive out there while maintaining her cover. They can't contact her, but maybe they made sure she'd be okay before she left. The timing of this scene is important too. We don't know exactly when this happens. Is this right after she escaped? Is this months later? Years later? The time jump shows us 1989, but we don't get a specific date for the Three Waterfalls scene. 11 could have been out there for weeks or years by the time we see her. She could have visited dozens of places already, seen things she never dreamed of when she was locked in that lab or fighting in Hawkins. She's making up for lost time, experiencing the world on her terms. There's something bittersweet about seeing 11 finally at peace, but knowing what she had to sacrifice to get there. She wanted a normal life so badly. She wanted to go to school, have sleepovers, go to the mall with her friends, grow up like a regular kid. And in a way, she's getting that. She's free to go wherever she wants, do whatever she wants. But she's doing it alone. She doesn't get to share these experiences with the people who made her want a normal life in the first place. Think about Mike sitting at that graduation, believing 11 is alive but not knowing where. He's choosing to have faith that she's out there somewhere, safe and happy. And he's right. She is safe. She is, in some ways, happy. But she's also thinking about him, missing him, wishing things could be different. That's the tragedy of this ending. Both of them are alive, both of them love each other, but they can never be together. The waterfalls are beautiful, but they're also lonely. The location also raises questions about 11's long-term plan. Is she going to keep moving forever? Or will she eventually settle somewhere, build a new life, maybe even a new identity? She's young, she's got her whole life ahead of her. Does she stay alone, or does she eventually let new people in? Can she risk forming relationships when she has to keep her past a secret? These are the questions the finale leaves us with, and honestly, it's probably better that we don't get definitive answers. 11's future is her own now, and we don't get to know every detail. There's also the question of whether Mike or the others will ever try to find her. Mike's speech suggests he's chosen to believe she's alive, but hasn't said anything about looking for her. That might be because he understands that finding her would put her in danger. If he can track her down, so can the military. So can anyone else who wants to use her powers. The loving thing to do is let her go, believe she's okay, and trust that she's finally living the life she deserves. It's heartbreaking, but it's the right choice. The Three Waterfalls location also represents something the show has been building toward for 5 seasons: 11's independence. She started the series as a child who couldn't speak properly, who didn't understand the world, who needed Mike to guide her. Over the years, she grew stronger, more confident, more capable. And now, in the end, she doesn't need anyone to save her. She saved herself. She's out there navigating the world on her own terms, making her own choices, living her own life. The little girl who could barely say friends is now a young woman charting her own path through the wilderness. It's worth noting that the Duffer Brothers are known for their attention to detail. They don't include shots like this without meaning. The Three Waterfalls aren't random. They represent the 3 major relationships in 11's life: Mike, Hopper, and her found family of friends. She carries all of them with her, even though they're not physically there. She's not alone in spirit, even if she's alone in body. The waterfalls flow together, just like her relationships shaped who she became, but she's moved past them now, found her own path downstream. Some fans have theorized that 11 might eventually return, that maybe years down the line when things have calmed down, when the military has moved on, she could come back. And maybe that's true. Maybe in 10 years, 20 years, she shows up at Mike's door, older and changed, but still the same person inside. Or maybe she never comes back. Maybe she builds a whole new life, finds happiness in her solitude, and the ending we got is truly the end of her story with the Hawkins crew. Both possibilities are valid, and both are bittersweet in their own way. The final image of 11 at the Three Waterfalls is meant to give us hope. Yes, she's alone, but she's also free. She's alive. She's seeing the world. She's not in a lab, not in a hospital bed, not fighting for her life. She's just walking, breathing, existing in a beautiful place without fear or danger. That's what she always wanted. Not the big dramatic hero moments, just the simple act of being a person living a quiet life. And she got it. It cost her everything, but she got it. So where is 11 now? Physically, we don't know the exact location, and we're not supposed to. She's somewhere remote, somewhere with 3 waterfalls, somewhere beautiful and peaceful. But more importantly, where is she emotionally and spiritually? She's free. She's finally, truly free. She's not a weapon, not a lab rat, not 11 the superhero. She's just Jane, a girl with a backpack, hiking through the wilderness, living the normal life she always dreamed of. It's lonely, it's sad, but it's also exactly what she deserves. And wherever she is, whoever she becomes, we have to trust that she's okay. Because that's what Mike chose to believe, and that's what the show wants us to believe too. The 3 waterfalls will remain a mystery, a symbol of 11's new beginning, a reminder that sometimes the happy ending isn't getting everything you want. Sometimes it's getting the freedom to choose what you want, even if that choice means leaving behind the people you love. 11 made her choice. She chose freedom over love, solitude over danger, peace over family. And she's out there somewhere watching those waterfalls, starting her new life, finally just being Jane.